The alien woman stood frozen when she saw me, and I later learned the reason. The alien woman stood frozen in the middle of the forest, clearing her purple eyes wide with shock as she stared at Kate, who had been collecting samples for her biology. Research Kate stood equally still, unsure what to do next. The alien had 6 fingers on each hand and skin that shifted colors like an octopus, currently a pale blue, with darker patterns appearing and disappearing across her surface. Kate took a careful step forward, holding up empty hands to show she meant no harm. The alien woman trembled but did not run away. This was first contact happening in a random forest in Oregon, not with government officials or military, but with a 32-year-old biologist who specialized in fungi. "Hello," Kate said softly. "I promise I won't hurt you." The alien made a series of clicking sounds, then touched a device on her wrist. A moment later, words came out in a mechanical voice. "I know you won't. That is why I'm afraid." Kate tilted her head, confused. "Why would that make you afraid?" The alien woman, who later introduced herself as something unpronounceable that Kate simplified to Lily, explained that her species had been observing Earth for decades. Their studies led them to believe humans were violent, dangerous creatures who destroyed everything they touched. They had recordings of wars, pollution, extinction, events, and cruelty. Their data suggested humans would attack any alien life on sight, yet here was Kate offering peace. Her kindness terrified Lily because it contradicted everything her people believed about humans. It meant their understanding of Earth was flawed. Their entire assessment of human nature might be wrong. Lily had been sent as part of a small advanced team to gather final data. Before her species decided whether Earth should be quarantined, left alone, or approached diplomatically, she had separated from her team to investigate unusual plant life patterns when she encountered Kate. Kate invited Lily to her cabin nearby, where they spent hours talking. Kate learned that Lily's species called themselves something that sounded like a musical note followed by static. Their home was a planet orbiting a star about 40 light-years from Earth. They had mastered faster than light travel a century ago and had been exploring carefully ever since. Lily was especially interested in human art, music, and literature concepts her species had but expressed very differently. Her people communicated through color changes and scent as much as sound, making human forms of expression fascinating to her. "Why did you not scream or run when you saw me?" Lily asked through her translator. Kate smiled. "Because you looked scared, not dangerous. And am a scientist. I want to understand, not destroy." The next day, Kate took Lily to meet her friend Sophia, a linguist who might help improve communication. Sophia was shocked but quickly moved past her fear to fascination. She and Lily worked on teaching the translator better idioms and expressions. That evening, as they sat around Kate's fireplace, Lily revealed something concerning her team had lost contact with their main ship. It was unusual and potentially dangerous if the ship had been discovered by less friendly human. Kate and Sophia offered to help Lily find her teammates. The three set off the following morning in Sophia's truck, driving toward the mountains, where Lily had last communicated with her team as they traveled. The women exchanged stories about their worlds. Kate was surprised to learn that Lily's species had no concept of nations or borders. They organized by knowledge groups, not geography. They found Lily's team in a clearing, 2 teammates huddled beside. Their damaged scout craft, one was injured. The others reacted with alarm at seeing humans, but Lily quickly explained in their color-changing language that these humans were safe. The injured alien had a deep cut across what seemed to be a leg. Beth, a nurse who Kate called to the scene, treated the wound while trying not to show her amazement at the alien's unusual anatomy with its double-jointed structure and greenish fluid instead of blood. As Beth worked, she talked softly, explaining what she was doing. The injured alien watched with fascination, later telling Lily this gentle care was nothing like what their studies had led them to expect from violent humans. That night, as the group camped under the stars, Lily shared a revelation with Kate. Their mission had another purpose, not just observation but assessment. Earth was approaching a technological threshold that would soon allow humans to detect the wider galactic community. The aliens needed to decide whether to welcome Earth, make contact, or implement measures to contain human expansion. The data we collected showed humans as destroyers, she said. Her skin rippled with dark blue patterns signifying sadness. But you three have shown kindness without reason. You helped. Without demanding payment, you showed compassion to strangers who looked nothing like you. Kate looked up at the stars. Our history has plenty of violence and destruction, that's true. But that's not all we are. We create, we heal. We learn, we grow. Many of us want peace and understanding not just with each other, but with whatever else might be out there. Over the next days, more humans joined their group. All women who Kate and Sophia trusted. Ruby, an engineer, helped repair the alien craft. Gina, a physicist, discussed technology with the aliens, comparing knowledge. Maria, a historian, shared humanity's complex past, not hiding the darkness but also showing the progress toward peace and cooperation. When Lily's ship finally re-established contact, Kate felt a strange mixture of happiness and sadness. She had grown fond of Lily and was fascinated by what she had learned, but she also understood this was bigger than friendship. Before leaving, Lily touched her translator, then reached out with 6 fingers. To gently take Kate's hand, I will tell my people what I learned here. That humans are complex, that you are capable of great destruction, but also tremendous compassion, that you should not be feared but understood. I believe we can have peace between our worlds. Kate squeezed the alien hand gently. Tell them we look forward to meeting them properly and come visit me again sometime. I'd like to learn more about your planets. Fungi. Lily's skin rippled with patterns Kate now recognized as laughter. I will. The ship departed in the night without witnesses except the small group of women who had kept the secret. They watched the lights disappear into the sky. 3 months later, Kate received a package containing an unusual plant sample and a note, written in now perfect English from one biologist to another. Looking forward to our next conversation. The galaxy is preparing to welcome Earth. Are your people ready to join us? Kate looked up at the stars and smiled. Yes, she whispered. We are. As autumn turned to winter, Kate continued her research but found it hard to focus. Her mind constantly returned to Lily and the incredible knowledge she had briefly touched. She told no one else about the encounter, respecting the aliens' wishes for discretion. She analyzed the plant sample, discovering it had remarkable properties unlike anything on Earth. It seemed to absorb carbon dioxide at rates far beyond terrestrial plants. One evening, as snow fell outside her cabin, Kate heard a strange humming sound. Outside, she opened her door to find a small metallic sphere hovering at eye level. It glowed with soft blue light, then projected an image of Lily. Hello, friend. The projection said, Our council has reviewed my team's reports. They are interested in further cultural exchange. Would you agree to serve as an ambassador of sorts? Kate agreed without hesitation. Within days, she found herself in regular communication with Lily, through the sphere, learning more about the alien civilization they called themselves the Harmonious in the closest English translation. They valued balance, sustainability, and knowledge above all else. Their technology was centuries beyond Earth's, yet they had deliberately chosen paths that preserved their environments. Kate asked why Lily had been chosen for first contact. Among my people, I am what you might call an anthropologist. The alien explained. I study other cultures. My specialty is emerging civilizations, those approaching the threshold of joining the wider galactic community. I volunteered for Earth duty. Though many considered it dangerous, Kate learned that the galaxy contained dozens of intelligent species. Some were ancient, having explored the stars for millennia. Others were young like humanity, barely reaching beyond their home planets. The Harmonious served as mediators, helping new species integrate without disrupting the delicate balance between civilizations. As winter deepened, Kate received more packages, each containing technological gifts disguised as ordinary items. A pen that could create 3-dimensional designs in the air, a small crystal that purified water instantly, a seed that grew into a plant that could detect environmental toxins. All were presented as research samples, to avoid suspicion. Through their conversations, Kate realized something significant. The Harmonious were not just studying humans. They were subtly assessing if humanity was ready for the knowledge they possessed. Kate argued passionately that humans, despite their flaws, deserved the chance to grow and learn. You must understand, Lily explained one night, her projected form glowing softly in Kate's living room. Some species, when given advanced technology, used it to destroy themselves or others. We have seen civilizations collapse from knowledge they were not prepared to handle. We must be certain, Kate thought carefully before responding. That's why you're sharing small things first. Testing our reactions. Lily's image nodded. Early in spring, Kate received an unexpected visitor. Dr. Alice Harris, a government scientist, arrived at her cabin asking pointed questions about unusual research findings and strange energy signatures in the area Kate maintained. The day of first contact arrived with no fanfare. Just a quiet summer evening as fireflies began to dance across Kate's meadow. The first circle gathered in a semicircle behind her, each woman nervous but determined. The sphere that had served as their communication device rose into the air, glowing brighter than ever before, then projected a message: "Stand clear, arrival in 2 minutes." Kate turned to the assembled women. "Are you ready?" They nodded, some clutching hands for support. All had signed unofficial agreements promising discretion. They represented the best chance for peaceful contact. Smart, capable women who understood the historical significance of this moment. A soft hum filled the air, gradually increasing in pitch. Then a section of the meadow shimmered like heat waves above hot pavement. A sleek vessel appeared seemingly from nowhere. Its surface rippled with colors like Lily's skin. It was smaller than Kate expected, barely larger than a car and shaped like a teardrop. The bottom of the craft opened and a ramp extended to touch the grass. Lily emerged first, her skin cycling through bright, happy colors Kate recognized now. She wore something like a flowing robe that changed colors with her skin. Behind her came another, of her kind, taller, with more elaborate patterns flowing across their skin. The first circle remained silent as Kate stepped forward. Lily extended her 6-fingered hand and Kate took it. The assembled humans gasped softly as the aliens' skin colors rippled and flowed in response to the touch. "Allow me to introduce Elder Harmony," Lily said through her translator, the counselor who advocated most strongly for open contact with humans. The taller alien stepped forward, skin shifting to deep purple, with gold patterns. The translator spoke with a deeper voice. "I am honored to meet those who have shown our scout such kindness. You have challenged many assumptions about your species." Kate bowed slightly, then introduced each member of the circle. Dr. Olivia West, the physician Nancy Green, the environmental scientist Pamela Hughes, the diplomat, and others. Each woman stepped forward, nodding respectfully. The initial meeting lasted hours as both sides exchanged information and questions. The humans learned that the Harmonious Council had existed for millennia, overseeing relations between dozens of spacefaring species. Earth was unusual in both its biodiversity and the rapid technological development of its dominant species. The Council had been observing Earth since humans first split the atom, recognizing the moment when a species gains the power to destroy itself. In turn, Elder Harmony learned about human governance, cultural differences, and hopes for the future. The first circle had prepared extensive presentations on human achievements in art, science, and cooperation, alongside honest acknowledgments of wars, environmental damage, and ongoing conflicts. Dr. West asked about medical knowledge. Elder Harmony revealed that the Harmonious had mastered cellular manipulation, allowing them to heal almost any injury or illness. "Would you share such knowledge with us?" Dr. West asked. "That is complex," the elder replied. "Some cures require understanding that takes generations to develop. We cannot simply give you the end result without the wisdom to use it properly. But yes, in time and with careful implementation, we can help reduce suffering." The night ended with both sides agreeing to establish regular meetings. The first circle would serve as intermediaries between the Harmonious and humanity, gradually preparing the way for wider contact as the alien ship departed, rippling into invisibility. Kate felt weight settling on her shoulders. This responsibility was enormous. They were shaping the future of human and alien relations for generations to come. Over the next weeks, Kate and the first circle met regularly to plan. They established secure communication methods, protocols for information sharing, and cautious timelines for expanding their group. Each woman returned to her regular life carrying both the excitement and burden of their secret. Dr. West began receiving subtle guidance on treating particularly difficult medical cases. Nancy, the environmental scientist, found mysterious help with her climate models. Pamela, the diplomat, received insights into ongoing international tensions, all carefully measured to help humanity without disrupting natural development. Kate herself continued working with Lily, learning more about the Harmonious and their place in galactic society. She discovered they were considered moderates among the spacefaring races. Some species advocated stronger isolation of developing worlds, while others believed in free sharing of all knowledge. The Council balanced these views, maintaining peace through careful regulation of contact. 3 months after the Meadow meeting, Kate noticed unusual news reports. Government agencies were investigating unexplained phenomena. Telescope arrays had detected anomalies at the edge of the solar system. Scientists reported strange readings that defied conventional explanation. The world was noticing something, even if they didn't know what. "We need to accelerate our timeline," Kate told Lily during their next communication. "Others are detecting your presence. It would be better if we control the narrative." Lily agreed. The next day, Kate received a visitor. Dr. Laura Miller, assistant director of a government space research program Kate recognized, the name from their watch list of influential humans they hoped to eventually bring into their confidence. Dr. Miller was direct. "I know something is happening here, Kate. Our satellites detected energy signatures matching nothing in our database centered on this location 3 times in the past month." She held up a tablet showing a thermal image of the meadow with a bright spot exactly where the alien ship had landed. Care to explain? Kate made a decision. This woman was on their potential recruit list anyway. It was time to expand the circle, Dr. Miller. "What I am about to tell you requires absolute discretion." She picked up the communication sphere, activating it. "Lily, I need to bring someone new into our confidence." The sphere projected Lily's image, causing Dr. Miller to step back in shock. What in God's name? Kate spent hours explaining everything, showing Dr. Miller the gifts from the Harmonious and the communication records. The scientist moved from shock to wonder, to cautious excitement, finally agreeing to join the first circle. That night, Kate contacted all circle members. "The timeline has changed. We need to meet tomorrow." When they gathered, Kate explained that government detection meant they needed to be proactive. "We should approach key officials before they discover us." The circle debated intensely, some arguing for continued secrecy, others supporting more rapid disclosure. Finally, they agreed on a compromise. They would approach 3 carefully selected government officials, 1 each from the science, military, and diplomatic communities. Dr. Miller provided names of individuals known for rational thinking and discretion. The circle voted and selected their targets. Within a week, each had been approached, brought into confidence, and shown evidence of alien contact. The reactions ranged from disbelief to wonder, to pragmatic assessment of threats and opportunities. Admiral Grace Peters asked the most direct questions. "How do we know they aren't scouts for an invasion?" Kate showed her the communication records explaining the Harmonious philosophy and their cautious approach to contact. "If they wanted to harm us, they could have done so long ago. Their technology is centuries beyond ours." The Admiral remained cautious, but open. "Ill reserve judgment, but proceed carefully. This needs to go up the chain of command in a controlled way." Dr. Harriet Chen, the government science advisor, was more enthusiastic. "This changes everything. Our understanding of physics, biology, everything. But yes, we need protocols for information sharing," and security diplomat Elena Rodriguez focused on international implications. "We can't keep this an American secret. The implications are global, but a worldwide announcement would cause panic. We need a multinational approach, building gradually." The circle, now expanded to include these officials, began developing a formal contact protocol. The Harmonious agreed to a gradual revealing of their presence, beginning with a small international committee of scientists and diplomats. Kate found herself at the center of an expanding web of secrecy and preparation. Lily became a constant presence guiding the humans through the complexities of first contact protocols established over centuries of the harmonious meeting. New species one evening, as Kate and Lily walked through the forest near the cabin, Lily revealed something new. My people have been debating whether to share something with yours. A warning about a potential threat, Kate stopped, looking at her alien friend. What threat? There are others watching your world. Not all spacefaring races share our philosophy of careful guidance. Some believe developing worlds should be left completely alone. Others see them as resources to be used. Others still see them as potential threats to be eliminated before they reach the stars. A chill ran down Kate's spine. Are we in danger? Not immediately, Lily assured her. But your rapid development has drawn attention. The Council protects you for now, but eventually Earth must stand on its own. Kate processed this information. So we need more than just scientific knowledge. We need protection. Lily's skin darkened. We cannot simply give you weapons. The Council forbids it, but we can help you develop defenses based on your own technology, guiding you to discoveries you would eventually make anyway. This new revelation changed the dynamics of their planning. The First Circle now understood they were preparing humanity not just for peaceful contact, but potential future threats. The weight of responsibility grew heavier. The Situation Room erupted into chaos as military leaders argued about how to respond. The President called for silence, then turned to Kate and Admiral Peters. I need options. The Admiral spoke first. Militarily, we have limited capabilities. The shield. Systems protect key installations but not population centers. Our weapons might damage their ships, but we're not certain. Kate added, the Vex typically begin with demonstrations of power targeting uninhabited areas to prove their superiority. They expect submission from fear. What exactly do they want? Asked the Secretary of State. Lily's image appeared on a screen, her translator conveying her response. They demand humans cease development in advanced physics, propulsion technology, artificial intelligence, and certain areas of biological research. These are fields that might eventually lead to technologies threatening their dominance. And if we agree, the President asked, then they establish permanent monitoring stations on Earth. Lily explained. They restrict your development, ensuring humans never reach the stars as equals. They extract resources and knowledge while keeping Earth essentially quarantined, and our alternatives fight now with limited capabilities, or appear to submit while secretly continuing preparations, Kate said. Each has risks. The leaders debated options, some advocating immediate military response, others suggesting diplomatic approaches. A few even recommended compliance, arguing that survival under restrictions was better than potential destruction. While they debated, Kate noticed Lily's skin patterns changing rapidly. She was receiving communications from the Harmonious Council. Kate moved closer. What is it? The Council has detected unusual Vex fleet movements. Lily said softly. More ships approaching from beyond your solar system. They may intend more than their usual intimidation tactics. Kate relayed this information, changing the dynamic of the discussion. The President made his decision. We cannot submit to threats, but direct confrontation seems suicidal. We need time. Prepare a response stating that Earth requires more time to consider such significant demands. Request clarification and details. This may buy us hours or days to prepare. The message was sent. The Vex responded almost immediately. Clarification unnecessary. Your species has 6 hours to cease all military activity and prepare for inspection teams to assess compliance. The Admiral leaned forward. They have no intention of negotiating. The President turned to the Joint Chiefs. Begin deployment of all assets with new shield technology. Activate the prototype weapons systems. Coordinate with allied forces. Worldwide, Kate watched as the military machine activated. Global commands went out. Forces moved into position. The few ships and installations equipped with Harmonious-inspired technology prepared for conflict. She felt a weight of responsibility for bringing Earth to this moment. Lily approached her privately. Kate, the Council. has sent a message specifically for you." She handed over a small device with a holographic display. The message showed an elder, harmonious, their skin patterns conveying deep concern. The Vex actions exceed typical containment protocols. The Council believes they intend severe measures, possibly targeting population centers. We cannot intervene directly without violating our most sacred principles, but we can share information. The Vex ships have a vulnerability in their propulsion systems. A specific energy frequency disrupts their stabilization fields. We are transmitting the specifications now. May your species find its own path among the stars. Kate immediately brought this information to Admiral Peters and the scientific team. Dr. Chen analyzed the data, working with military engineers to modify their prototype weapons. The hours passed in frantic activity as the deadline approached. 30 minutes before the ultimatum expired, the President addressed the world, revealing the truth about both the Harmonious and the Vex. He explained the threat without causing panic, describing it as a challenge humanity would face together. The speech was measured, calm and resolute, presenting the situation as humanity's first unified stand as a planetary civilization. As the deadline passed, Vex ships began moving into lower orbit, their weapon systems activating. The first attacks came exactly as Lily had predicted. Energy beams struck unpopulated areas in the Sahara, Siberia, and the Australian outback, creating massive explosions visible from space. The demonstration of power was unmistakable. The President authorized defensive measures, shielded military installations worldwide, activated systems designed with harmonious guidance. The modified weapons fired, targeting the vulnerability Lily had revealed. The first shots seemed ineffective, but as engineers adjusted the frequencies, the Vex ships began showing signs of distress. Their movements became erratic. For 12 hours, the conflict continued. The Vex weapons destroyed military bases that lacked shields and damaged cities around the world. Human casualties numbered in the thousands, but the modified weapons gradually took their toll. 3 Vex ships lost propulsion, crashing into the ocean. A 4th drifted out of orbit. The remaining Vex vessels withdrew to higher orbit. Human leaders watched anxiously, uncertain if this represented retreat or regrouping. Kate conferred with Lily, who monitored Harmonious intelligence. "Reports they appear to be communicating with their incoming fleet," Lily reported. "They seem surprised by your resistance. Few species at your development stage have managed to damage their ships." Kate smiled grimly. "They underestimated human determination and ingenuity. The respite lasted less than a day." The Vex returned with 11 ships, their weapons now modified to penetrate the human shields. The second wave of attacks proved more devastating. Key military installations were destroyed. Despite their protections, death tolls climbed into the hundreds of thousands as cities came under direct attack. In the underground command center, Kate watched with horror as the attacks continued. The modified human weapons still damaged Vex ships, but at a diminishing rate as the aliens adapted their defenses. Dr. Chen worked frantically with engineers, trying to find new frequencies that might work. Outside Atlanta, where Kate had been relocated to a secure facility, Lily received an urgent communication from the Harmonious Council. She sought out Kate, her skin pattern showing extreme agitation. "The Council has detected a Vex world killer ship entering your solar system," she said. Her translator could not fully convey the emotion in her voice, but her skin had turned nearly black with distress. "World killer," Kate repeated. "What does that mean?" "A weapon capable of rendering planets uninhabitable. They rarely deploy such measures. They must consider humanity an unusual threat." Admiral Peters, who had joined them, looked grim. "How long do we have? 5 of your days, perhaps 6. The Admiral nodded grimly. "Then we have one option remaining. Operation Lazarus." Kate had heard whispers about the classified operation but knew few details. Lily looked between them questioningly. "After your warning months ago," the Admiral explained, "we began developing a last resort option. A network of nuclear devices placed in orbit disguised as satellites. Combined with the frequency technology you shared, they could create a cascading energy field that might disable all ships in Earth orbit." "At what cost?" Kate asked. "Significant EMP effects worldwide," Lily said immediately. Understanding the implications, electronic systems would fail, potentially catastrophic damage to infrastructure and to the humans and harmonious in orbit. The Admiral added. Kate realized the magnitude of the decision, sacrificing astronauts and observers to save the planet. There must be alternatives. She said scientists worldwide worked on options, running simulations, testing theories. Leaders debated evacuation plans, though where to evacuate billions of people under alien attack remained an impossible question. Militaries continued fighting with conventional weapons and the modified energy weapons, but Vex ships adapted quickly. Suffering fewer losses, Kate found herself in a high-level meeting 3 days after the World Killer ship was detected. Present were the American President, Chinese Premier, Russian President, European Commission, President and Indian Prime Minister connected by secure communications, military and scientific advisors including Admiral Peters and Dr. Chen, attended along with Kate and Lily. Our modified weapons are becoming ineffective, Dr. Chen reported. The Vex adapt quickly to each frequency we use, and conventional weapons, the Russian president asked. Ineffective, the Russian defense minister answered. Their shields absorb or deflect everything we have except the specially tuned energy weapons they discussed, options each increasingly desperate. The Chinese premier finally addressed the elephant in the room. What about this Operation Lazarus? We have heard about. Admiral Peters explained the plan in detail. The nuclear detonation would be synchronized with energy emissions at the specific frequencies known to affect Vex technology. The resulting electromagnetic pulse would likely disable their ships at least temporarily, perhaps long enough to target their propulsion systems more effectively. And the cost, the Indian Prime Minister asked. Catastrophic electronic failures worldwide. Admiral Peters acknowledged modern infrastructure would collapse. Communication, transportation, medical facilities, all severely impacted. Millions might die from secondary effects. And our own people in space, the American president asked. They would be lost, the Admiral said simply. The room fell silent as leaders contemplated this terrible choice. Kate looked at Lily, who had been monitoring harmonious communications. Her alien friend spoke. The International Committee spent 3 days in closed sessions debating, questioning, and sometimes arguing. Kate and Lily presented evidence, answered questions, and demonstrated alien technology. At times, the discussions grew heated as committee members grappled with the implications of first contact. The Chinese representative, Dr. Lin, worried about technological disparities. If some nations receive advanced technology before others, it would create dangerous imbalance. The Russian general expressed security concerns. We must ensure this contact does not threaten our sovereignty. Others raised religious, cultural, and economic questions. How would various faiths respond to alien life? Would economic systems collapse if certain technologies were introduced too quickly? Would humanity lose its drive to solve problems if solutions were simply given to them? Kate and Lily listened patiently, addressing each concern. They explained the harmonious approach of gradual guidance, helping species develop along their natural path but avoiding harmful dead ends. The committee eventually agreed to form 5 working groups, each focused on a different aspect of contact: scientific exchange, security protocols, public disclosure, cultural impact, and governance. As the final session ended, Kate felt exhausted but hopeful. The committee had agreed to a carefully staged disclosure process, beginning with scientific announcements about anomalous signals detected at the edge of the solar system, followed by carefully controlled releases of information over months. Leading scientists would be brought into confidence first, then government officials, religious leaders, and finally, the general public. The committee members departed, each carrying the weight of history. Kate returned to her cabin for a much-needed rest. Lily accompanied her as they sat watching the sunset. Lily's skin shifted to soft patterns of concern. I must tell you something, Kate. My ship detected unusual energy signatures near your moon. Something that does not match harmonious technology. Kate felt her stomach tighten. Are other aliens here? Possibly, Lily's translator conveyed. The signals are faint and intermittent. They could be natural phenomena. But the Council is concerned enough to send additional observation ships. Kate thought of Admiral Peters' warnings. This changes our timeline. We need to accelerate preparations for defense just in case, over the next weeks. Kate divided her time between helping implement the committee's disclosure plan and working with Admiral Peters on contingency preparations. The Admiral had assembled a small team of military analysts and scientists sworn to secrecy. They reviewed the defensive capabilities Lily had suggested humans might develop. Lily explained the basic principles of energy shielding propulsion systems that could reach near light speed and detection arrays capable of identifying ships using cloaking technology similar to the Harmonious, all based on extensions of existing human science, not gifts of alien technology. Dr. Chen worked with research teams around the world, subtly guiding them toward breakthroughs that would seem natural. The Harmonious provided gentle nudges, not solutions. Kate sometimes wondered if they had done this before throughout human history, guiding critical discoveries. Meanwhile, the public disclosure process began. Scientists announced the detection of unusual signals from the outer solar system. They described them as potentially artificial, though origins remained unknown. The news caused excitement in scientific communities, but only mild interest from the general public who had seen similar headlines before. Kate monitored public reactions with the help of psychologists and social scientists in the first circle. They needed to introduce the concept gradually, allowing people time to adjust. Dr. Miller oversaw a series of scientific papers hinting at breakthrough discoveries in physics and biology, laying groundwork for later revelations. 4 months after the committee meeting, a new development changed everything. Lily arrived at Kate's cabin in visible distress, her skin cycling through alarm patterns. The Council has confirmed our fears. Another species has entered your solar system. One known to be hostile to emerging civilizations. Kate called an emergency meeting of the security group. The Admiral listened grimly to Lily's report. These visitors, called the Vex in the closest human translation, believed technological development followed predictable patterns. Once a species reached certain capabilities, they would inevitably become competitors for resources. The Vex preferred to eliminate potential rivals early. How much time do we have? Admiral Peters asked. They appear to be conducting surveillance only. Lily explained. Their ships remain near the outer planets, but they have technology that allows them to strike quickly when they decide to act. The Admiral stood. We need to accelerate both our defensive preparations and the disclosure process. People need to know what we're facing. Kate disagreed. Telling the public about a potential alien threat would cause panic. We should stick to the gradual plan but accelerate our technological development. The debate continued for hours until they reached compromise. The disclosure timeline would compress from 18 months to 6. Scientists already working on defensive technologies would receive more direct guidance. The military would quietly prepare response protocols without revealing the specific threat. As Kate left the meeting, Dr. Miller pulled her aside privately. This is becoming a military situation. Are we being used as pawns in some interstellar conflict? Kate understood the concern. I asked Lily the same question. She says the Harmonious genuinely wish to help us. The Vex operate independently, and the Council has strict rules against interfering in their activities directly, but they can help us help ourselves. The next weeks passed in a blur of activity. The scientific community buzzed with excitement as research teams around the world announced breakthrough after breakthrough in physics, materials, science, and energy technology. Stock markets fluctuated wildly as investors tried to predict which industries would benefit from the new discoveries. Religious leaders issued statements ranging from caution to enthusiasm about the possibility of extraterrestrial intelligence. Behind the scenes, the first circle expanded, carefully bringing key individuals into confidence. Kate barely slept, working constantly between public appearances, scientific consultations, and private meetings with Lily and the Harmonious representatives who now visited Earth regularly, though always in secrecy. 3 months into the accelerated timeline, astronomical observatories around the world detected unusual activity near Jupiter. Multiple objects moving in patterns that defied natural explanation. The scientific announcement caused Greater public interest, mainstream news networks began covering the story, and social media erupted with theories. Kate and the committee decided the time had come for the next phase. A carefully selected group of respected scientists would announce they had been analyzing signals that appeared to be artificial in origin. They would emphasize that research was ongoing and conclusions preliminary, but would confirm they believed the evidence pointed to non-human intelligence. The announcement created exactly the measured reaction they had hoped for: public interest and excitement without panic. Most people remained skeptical. Some religious groups held prayer services, tech stocks soared, and governments issued cautious statements promising to investigate. What the public didn't know was that the Vex ships had moved closer, now orbiting Mars. Lily reported that their activity suggested they were preparing for something, though the Harmonious remained uncertain of their specific plans. Admiral Peters increased military readiness under the guise of exercises. Scientists working on defensive technologies made remarkable progress, developing energy systems, shield prototypes, and detection arrays that could track the alien ships. The work proceeded at an astonishing pace with subtle guidance from the Harmonious. Kate found herself at a press conference 6 months after the first committee meeting. She had been introduced as a biological consultant to the international research team, studying the alleged alien signals. She stood at the podium facing reporters from around the world, camera lights blinding her. She took a deep breath and began, "Ladies and gentlemen, after months of careful analysis and verification, I can confirm that the International Scientific Consortium has reached a conclusion. The signals we have been detecting are indeed of intelligent, non-human origin." The room erupted with questions. Kate raised her hands for quiet. "We believe we are detecting evidence of at least 2 distinct non-human civilizations in our solar system. Their purposes remain unknown, but we have reason to believe at least one group has been observing humanity for some time, possibly with benevolent intent." She carefully avoided mentioning the Vex that would come later if necessary. "What evidence do you have?" asked a BBC reporter. Kate nodded to Dr. Chen, who joined her at the podium, displaying images taken by the new detection arrays showing the outline of a Harmonious ship near the moon. "We have visual confirmation as well as consistent signal patterns that respond to our transmissions in ways that indicate intelligence." Over the next hours, they presented evidence accumulated over months, carefully selected to be convincing, without revealing how much they actually knew. The conference ended with an announcement that representatives of world governments would be meeting to establish protocols for potential first contact. Synchronization complete. Lily called her skin-flashing urgent patterns. Now Admiral Peters commanded, across the planet. The modified weapons fired simultaneously, each targeting specific Vex ships with precisely calibrated energy pulses. The command center held its breath as the pulses reached their targets. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then Lily shouted, "Shield fluctuations detected. Frequencies destabilizing." The tactical displays showed the Vex ships suddenly losing power, their weapons systems failing. One by one, they began drifting from their positions. Kate watched in astonishment as even the massive world killer showed signs of distress, its approach slowing, multiple direct hits. Dr. Chen reported 87% of targeted systems showing critical failures. "Fire conventional weapons," the Admiral ordered. "Aim for propulsion systems." Military forces worldwide launched missiles, fired railguns, and deployed every available weapon. The Vex ships, now vulnerable, took devastating damage. 3 exploded in orbit. Others began falling toward Earth, their controlled descent systems failing. The world killer itself appeared crippled, its massive weapon systems offline. Those still approaching it moved slowly, clearly damaged, for not all Vex ships were disabled. 2 smaller vessels protected by the larger ones had avoided the energy pulse. They accelerated, suddenly moving toward Earth. "Incoming." The tactical officer shouted. 2 vessels on attack, vectors defensive measures, Admiral Peters ordered. The remaining functional human weapons targeted the approaching ships, but these Vex vessels moved erratically, avoiding most attacks. Their weapons charged, preparing to fire. "One appears to be targeting this facility." The officer reported. "Evacuate." The Admiral commanded. Alarms blared as personnel rushed toward shelters. Kate grabbed Lily's arm, pulling her toward the exit. They had nearly reached the door when a blinding flash filled the room. The facility shook violently. Debris fell from the ceiling. The lights failed. Kate awoke in darkness, feeling weight pressing on her legs. Pain shot through her body. She called out, "Lily, where are you?" Faint glow appeared nearby. Lily's skin, providing minimal light. The alien moved toward her, shifting. "Debris, I am here, Kate." "Are you badly injured?" Kate assessed herself. "My legs are trapped. I think one is broken, but I can move my toes." The facility must have taken a direct hit. Lily helped clear debris from Kate's legs, confirming one was indeed broken. She fashioned a makeshift splint using materials from the ruins. As they worked, Kate asked about others. "I detect life signs nearby," Lily said. "Some survivors in the emergency bunker section, but communications appear non-functional." "What about the Vex?" Kate asked. "Difficult to determine without equipment," Lily admitted. "But before the attack, most ships were disabled or destroyed. The 2 attacking vessels may have survived." They made their way slowly through the damaged facility, finding other survivors, including Dr. Chen, who had suffered only minor injuries. Together, they assessed their situation. The bunker had taken a direct hit, but its reinforced structure had prevented complete collapse. Emergency systems provided minimal power and air filtering. They had no communication with the outside world. "We need to know what happened," Dr. Chen said. "If the Vex ships are still active, they might be targeting other facilities." Kate turned to Lily. "Can you contact the Harmonious?" Lily touched her communication device. "It's damaged but might still function at short range. If any Harmonious observers are nearby, I might reach them." She attempted contact, her skin displaying patterns of concentration. After several minutes, her colors brightened slightly. "I have received a partial communication. A Harmonious observation vessel is in low orbit. They report most Vex ships destroyed or disabled. The World Killer has been rendered inoperative." Relief flooded through Kate. The plan had worked. Humanity had survived. Its first interstellar conflict, but at what cost? For 3 days they remained in the damaged facility, surviving on emergency supplies and treating injuries. Finally, rescue teams reached them, cutting through collapsed sections. They emerged into daylight, finding a landscape transformed. The nearby city showed damage from both the Vex attack and electromagnetic pulses from the battle. As Kate was loaded into a medical transport, Lily by her side, she asked about global conditions. The soldier looked grim. "Significant damage worldwide. Mom infrastructure hit hard, communications spotty. But we're winning. Most Vex ships destroyed. The rest retreated. The hospital was overcrowded but functional. Kate received treatment for her broken leg and other injuries. Lily remained with her, using her limited medical knowledge to assist overwhelmed human doctors. In quiet moments, they discussed what might come next. "The Vex will return. Eventually," Lily said. Once Kate was stable, they rarely abandon a target completely. "But you have proven yourselves capable defenders. That changes your status in their calculations." Kate stared out the window at smoke still rising from parts of the city. "How many died?" "Millions," Lily admitted. "But billions survived. Who would not have if the World Killer had deployed its weapons? You saved your species." Kate, small comfort to the family's mourning. Kate said, over the following weeks, as Kate recovered, humanity began rebuilding with limited global communications. Recovery efforts remained mostly local. Governments focused on restoring power, water, and medical services. Military forces remained vigilant, monitoring for any sign of returning Vex ships. 1 month after the battle, Kate, sitting in a wheelchair, attended a gathering of the first circle. Those who had survived, the room was only half full. Many had been lost in the conflict. Others, joined by patchy video connections, were available. Lily presented information from the Harmonious Council. "The Vex fleet has withdrawn beyond your solar system. They appear to be reassessing their approach to Earth. The Council believes you have earned a reprieve, though not permanent safety." And the Harmonious Kate asked, "What happens to our relationship now?" "The Council proposes a formal alliance," Lily said, her skin displaying patterns of hope. "The conflict has changed their assessment of humanity. You have demonstrated both technological aptitude and unified purpose when threatened. Those are traits the Council respects. Dr. Chen leaned forward. What would this alliance mean? Precisely. Lily explained. The Harmonious would establish an official embassy on Earth. They would share more knowledge, still gradually, but with fewer restrictions. They would help humanity rebuild while preparing defenses against future threats. The exchange would be two-way, with humans sharing their unique perspectives and creativity. Admiral Peters, now wearing civilian clothes, her uniform lost with her command center, asked the critical question. And what do they want in return? Recognition as allies, not saviors, Lily said. A voice in how humanity develops its interstellar capabilities. Assurance that Earth will join the galactic community as a peaceful member, while maintaining the right to defend itself. The group discussed the proposal at length. Despite recent trauma, many remained optimistic about cooperation with the Harmonious. The alliance offered both protection and advancement. They eventually voted to recommend acceptance to world governments. 3 months after the battle, a new international body formed, the Earth Union, representing all nations focused on rebuilding and preparing for the future. Their first official act was accepting the alliance with the Harmonious. The formal ceremony took place in a hastily repaired United Nations building. Kate, now walking with a cane, stood with world leaders as Elder Harmony, and a delegation of Harmonious representatives appeared publicly for the first time. The event was broadcast worldwide. Though technology remained damaged in many areas, special efforts ensured maximum distribution. Elder Harmony spoke through an advanced translator. We come in peace and hope. The recent conflict was regrettable, but perhaps necessary. Your species has demonstrated courage, determination, and unity in the face of extinction. These are qualities the galaxy needs. You are no longer alone among the stars. We offer friendship, knowledge, and cooperation as you join the wider community. Earth Union President responded with dignity. We accept your friendship. We have learned painful lessons about our vulnerability and our strength. We look forward to walking among the stars as partners in peace, but we will never forget those who died defending our right to choose our own path. The ceremony concluded with an exchange of symbolic gifts. The Harmonious presented a crystal containing the complete history of their species. Earth offered a collection of art, music, and literature, representing human creativity. As the official event ended, Kate found herself alone with Lily in a quiet corner of the building. You were right to be afraid when we first met, Kate said, remembering their encounter in the forest. Lily's skin displayed patterns Kate now recognized as affection. Yes, but not for the reason I thought then. I feared your kindness because it challenged everything I believed. Now I understand it is your greatest strength. Your capacity for both violence and compassion. Your determination to choose your own destiny. That is why the Vex fear you and why the Harmonious respect you. 6 months after the battle, Earth continued rebuilding. Technologies adapted from Harmonious knowledge helped restore infrastructure faster than expected. The first official Harmonious embassy opened in Geneva, with Lily serving as lead cultural attaché, Kate working alongside her as human liaison.